Hello and welcome to the ATM, and coming up in episode 4.
The electronic lap board. The electronic cool board. Nova 2, Class 397, Unit 5 on the depot at Longsight, Manchester.
Okay, now we know what's coming up in this episode. It's time for the first segment, which means it's time to find out what Grand Tour game vehicle there is to go on the lap board.
Ooh.
And across the line! Okay, let's bring up the lap board. Okay, now there's the 1967 Chevrolet Corvette waiting to go on the board. Now, as I said at the start of the series, I've taken all the Train Simulator classes off the board to retime them, as well as redevelop the board. Now, I only managed to retime all the AC Power Mode classes. So, let's take the 1967 Chevrolet Corvette off the board temporarily. And let's put all the AC Power Mode Train Simulator classes back on the board. Okay, now that's all the AC Power Mode Train Simulator classes back on the board. Now let's bring the 1967 Chevrolet Corvette back up. Okay, now that's all the AC Power Mode classes back on the board. Now let's bring the 1967 Chevrolet Corvette back up and find out how fast I'll go around the track. Let's have a look. Let's put it on the board. I suspect it's faster than the 1962 Chevrolet Corvette. And I was right. 1:52.71. That is 12 seconds quicker than the 1962 Chevrolet Corvette. Okay, now that's that segment. Now it's time for the second segment, which means it's time to find out what images there is to go on the cool board. Welcome back to the cool board. Now, before finding out what free images there is to go on the board today, I just need to do a little tidying up. Firstly, when I put the Class 180 on the board, I put it on uncool because I hadn't been on them and so I didn't know if they were comfortable or not. Well, while I was off the air, I did briefly sit on one of them and they were comfortable. So, it's time to move the Class 180 from uncool to not bad and rearrange the uncool section. So let's do that. Okay, now that's sorted. Now let's see what free images we've got today. First image, International Trucks. International Harvester S-Series. Now that vehicle is from the Grand Tour game, which is what Richard Hammond used when they were in the USA. And I can't really think of anything bad about that, it's not bad, so that goes in, not bad. And the second image, a Class 720-5. Now those operate on Greater Anglia. Now I have been on them and they are safe, they are quiet and they are environmentally friendly, but they're not comfortable. Nevertheless, 3 of the 4, so that goes in, cool. And the final image, Lotus Type 25. Now that vehicle is also from the Grand Tour game. Now it's pretty much similar to the Lotus Type 38 already on the board. So that goes in uncool. And that's the end of the cool board. Okay, now that's that segment finished. Now it's time for the final segment, which is the travel video for this episode. So, please enjoy. Okay, then that's all the segments for this episode finished, and on that fragment it is time to end. Thank you very much for watching, see you next week. Goodbye!